love that video. It reminds me of why we are here. Welcome to the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston Kickoff. I'm your walk manager, Sasha Vaught, and I'm thrilled to see you all here today. Thank you for coming and choosing to make a difference. I'm also excited to introduce our two fantastic hosts this morning. Please give a round of applause and welcome Krista Delkamp from Channel 7 and Sue Tabb from Magic 106.7.
I had to put my purse back there. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm out of breath. Sorry.
Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome. We are so thrilled to be here. I want to thank Sasha for the warm introduction, and thank you all for getting up so bright and early this morning to join us for the breakfast kickoff. I'm thrilled to be here. This is my second year at the breakfast, and I'm excited to work together with all of you to raise more awareness for breast cancer and also to inspire you to raise funds for the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. So thank you so much for being here. As many of you know, if you were here last year, I have a very personal connection to the cause. I myself am a breast cancer survivor. And I always say I was one of the lucky ones because of people like all of you and all of the early detection technology that is out there. I was diagnosed in the very, very, very early stages. So I was able to avoid surgery and chemo, but I did go through some radiation, and as most of you know who are out here, because I know many of you have been in the place that I was in, when you hear you have breast cancer, it's pretty life-changing, and I know a lot of you know that firsthand, unfortunately. And so it was life-changing for me. And even though my prognosis was excellent, and it really was, I knew that I was going to be okay, it still plays tricks on you, and it's not easy to deal with it. And so I'll tell you just a quick story, because I only have a minute, and I want to get going and introduce my co-host, Krista. But I'll just tell you one quick story about my experience with breast cancer. I went to radiation for about 7 weeks, and I used to drive up to the building, and I used to walk in through this side entrance, which I think was an employee entrance. I couldn't walk in through the front door. And I couldn't do it because I was having a hard time. I was in denial, I think, that I was actually a cancer patient. And so I couldn't face and actually check in with the receptionist and see all the people, because that made me a cancer patient, and I couldn't be a cancer patient, and yet I was. And so I used to sneak in through a side door. And I would sneak in through the side door and slide into the radiation room. And I had a radiation tech named Michael, and he was awesome. He was probably in his late 20s, and he was very engaging and funny and positive, and he kept me laughing all the time. And 2 weeks or so into my ridiculous behavior, I said, Michael, I think I'm doing this all wrong. I keep walking in through the side entrance, and I think I'm doing it wrong. And he said, you can't do cancer wrong, Sue. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You do it your way. And he said, I don't care if you come in through the back, the front, if you burrow through a tunnel underground, or if you drop from a parachute. He said, just show up. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I should just show up. And I did. I kept showing up, and I still kept walking through the side entrance. But I kept showing up, and he kept showing up, and you guys keep showing up. And so that's what's important. I think if there's anything that I take away from this every year, it's that I'm amazed that you guys all show up year after year, and it's making such a difference. So thank you for that. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, and I know many of you out there do as well. All right, I'm out of time, but I want to introduce my co-host, which is this lovely woman to my right, who you guys all see on television every single morning. Her beautiful face welcomes us and gives us the news of the day. It's Channel 7's Krista Delkamp.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I give you a hug? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. What a story. I love that story. That's why I'm here. I can't claim to have a personal connection like Sue has, but certainly I am so touched by all of your stories. I know that Channel 7 has had a very long relationship with Making Strides, and year after year, we see you out there, come rain or shine, pounding the pavement and remembering your loved ones and honoring memories and the battle that you wage each and every day, and many of your loved ones do. And I've covered that event from time to time, and just hearing once again about the struggle and about the lives that this research has touched and changed. Even here today, I talked to Stacy, I think you're at table 25 somewhere, one of the top earners in the country. Isn't that amazing? Let's give her a round of applause. She's been the top earner many years, and I think the third this year. Hearing from another survivor here today, I was just interviewing for a story that we're doing on this. She was saying, when you get that diagnosis, it's like having power taken away. And feeling the support of so many of you here in this room is an empowering experience. And I think, whether we're personally touched or not, that's kind of why we're here, is give a big collective hug, right? So I guess with that, we're going to get started here, right?
To put my glasses on. So this year marks the 24th year the American Cancer Society has organized this walk in Boston. And of course, it's refreshing to know that so many of us as a community are coming together and are just as passionate about this cause as I am and so many of you are. I want to remind everybody that they can feel free to share your passion for fighting breast cancer with others in real time today. During our presentation, anytime throughout the program, feel free to post to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or any social network to let everyone know you're at the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer kickoff breakfast and why it's important that we come together to help save lives from breast cancer. If you snap photos of the slides and you want to remember some of the information that we give out today, that's great too. We do ask that you use a couple of hashtags. That way we can all follow along in the conversation. Those hashtags are Boston Strides or MSABC Boston when you post. And then again, we can all follow along. We're going to take a minute now to recognize some of the people who are here today. We have a number of corporate sponsors who are helping to make this event possible, and we want to thank all of them. Because we have so many, it's a very long list, thankfully, we'd love for you to hold your applause until the end, if you would.
All right, so we are proud to be supported by a number of local businesses and organizations. They have stepped up as leaders in our efforts to free the world from pain and suffering that breast cancer causes. And there are flagship sponsors: Al Fresco, All Natural, Communication Technology Services, Gulf Oil, Hologic, TJX Companies, and We Got Soccer. By the way, just have to mention on a side note, Al Fresco, All Natural generously provided the sausage and chicken bacon that you're eating right now. So we're all enjoying that as part of this morning's breakfast too. And they've also donated a little treat that you'll find in today's team leader bags as well. Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston also depends on the support of media sponsors who help us get the word out about our cause and help bring thousands of people out on event day. And so we're grateful to have the support of Channel 7, Magic 106.7, and Wicked Local this year. We also want to recognize the businesses and organizations that support Making Strides Against Breast Cancer events nationwide. There are national partner program members displayed here on the screen that you see. These organizations support Making Strides both through a philanthropic contribution and by rallying employees nationwide to join our events. There's also one special group of people here today we are actually not going to recognize, at least not at this point, and they are candidates of Boston's first Real Men Wear Pink campaign. And isn't that great? I know. Let's applaud. Yeah. We don't have to hold the applause here. So they will raise funds for our Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, a Boston Walk, and raise awareness for fighting the disease. Not only will these men be collecting donations, but they will also wear at least one pink item the entire month of October. I love that. This campaign is already bringing out their competitive sides, and several of our candidates have already been emailing each other challenges and plotting how they can become the top fundraiser. The identities of these real men will be revealed publicly in a few weeks. Some may even be in the room right now, so look around. I know. We can't wait to see the creative ways and things that they come up with to engage their family, their friends, and business connections, and social media followers as they take a stand against breast cancer. This should be good, huh?
I love that. Now we want to give special thanks to a group of people who show us what courage means every day. At this time, I'd love you to all join me in celebrating our guests of honor, and of course, that would be our breast cancer survivors. Please stand so we can celebrate all of you with a round of applause. It's a great way to start our program. Our survivors are just a beautiful reminder that there is hope for people facing breast cancer today, and I'm honored to be among you. I also want to give a special thanks to the many past team leaders we have in the room. Again, it's so great to be here surrounded by others who continue to believe in this cause year after year. Let's give everyone a big round of applause. On the subject of successful fundraising, we need to take some time to recognize our 2015 Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston pace setters. We have many of them here today, and you can see their names on the screen. Wow, there's a lot of names. That's good news. I will not read them, I promise. They are also wearing special stickers, and I encourage you to talk to them and hear their inspiring stories. These extraordinary fundraisers commit to individually raising $2,500 or more, so that is a lot of money, and there are a lot of people that step up to do this when you look at all those names. So thank you for that. That is a huge commitment, and we're very grateful for your support. Would all of our pace setters please stand, and let's give them a huge round of applause. So we have all gathered here this morning because breast cancer, this terrible, destructive disease, continues to affect our lives and the lives of those that we love. It is something we simply cannot ignore. Breast cancer is still the most common diagnosis in women other than skin cancer and the second leading cause of death in women. Let me try to put some daunting numbers into perspective for you. By the end of this year, 2016, 246,600 women are expected to be newly diagnosed with breast cancer. The women who will hear you have breast cancer for the first time will be equivalent to more than a third of Boston residents. More than 40,000 women will die from the disease. We expect the number of our sisters who will lose their battle with this disease could fill the TD Garden 3 times. It's a haunting image, isn't it? Now imagine a sellout at Fenway Park. This year, nearly 38,000 women, one Sox fan for every seat, will be newly diagnosed here in Massachusetts alone. In our state, nearly 13,000 are expected to die as a result of the disease. That number of women could snap up every single discounted gown at the old Filene's Basement running of the brides, more than 4 times over. In addition, breast cancer, as we all know, impacts men. This year, 2,600 men will be newly diagnosed with breast cancer, and 440 will die from the disease. The men we will lose could fill more than 4 MBTA Green Line cars. I think you're up. Yes. You're up.
That is sobering when you think of it, isn't it? So, breast cancer is a worthy opponent, to say the least. It has a formidable nature, a resourceful manner, and a destructive appetite, but it will never have what we have, and that's our humanity. We have an advantage over breast cancer because of the generosity of Making Strides supporters like you and the values inherent in humanity. Values like courage and hope, empathy and determination. With our collective power, we can make a great impact to save lives and ensure no one faces breast cancer alone. If you want to make a difference, then you've come to the right place, haven't you? This morning, we're going to spend time talking about the American Cancer Society and what we're doing to achieve our vision of a world free from the pain and suffering caused by breast cancer. And you can help contribute to all the great work that they're doing, and we'll explain how you can do that in a little bit. So when it comes to fighting breast cancer, you may be asking, what is it about the American Cancer Society, above all other organizations, that gives it an advantage? Why should I support this particular organization when there are so many out there? I know for many of you here, this is not your first kickoff event, but every day at the American Cancer Society, we partake in new endeavors and new success stories, each in need of your continued support. So to start with, as many of you know, fighting breast cancer requires courage. It requires you to go outside your comfort zone, to break your routine and do something you don't normally do, to stand tall, not be defeated, to get up again each and every time an obstacle comes your way. And that is a quality that we possess as well. And we are pretty courageous in the things we do. You moved. Hi. I'm kidding. No, sorry.
I didn't want to mess up our scripts.
Sorry.
This walk, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, started with an act of courage right here in Boston when a woman named Marjorie Gould Rath, or Margie, wanted to find a way to celebrate fellow cancer survivors and raise funds for the American Cancer Society. Working with a committee of fellow survivors and other volunteers, Margie created what some people called a move-along-a-thon. Then in 1993, it officially became the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk. Today, there are nearly 300 events held each year across the country. So thank you, Margie. The American Cancer Society has a reputation for fighting for every single life threatened by breast cancer. Today, we're opening the doors to conversations with the healthcare community, working with major health systems, breast health clinics, physicians, and other organizations on efforts to educate people about breast cancer and help increase access to screenings. The Society is also a strong voice in scientific and medical publications, helping to educate our physicians and healthcare professionals on the latest innovation and research. And on top of that, we are boldly reaching out to women in need. We are funding grants that provide women in at-risk communities with free or reduced cost screenings and medical care. Since our grant program began in 2011, more than $11 million has helped fund education and outreach programs for communities in need. This courageous work is made possible because of Making Strides supporters like all of you.
So here's another reason to support the American Cancer Society. The Society has an advantage over breast cancer because we have innovation on our side. We fund all types of cancer research to continue to make advances in prevention and treatments, and we ensure no one is facing this disease alone. Each year, Making Strides Against Breast Cancer events raise enough money to fund all of the Society's breast cancer research for a year. So during the next few years, we'll be funding more than $74 million in breast cancer research grants. The American Cancer Society's program of research is prominent and is making an impact here in Massachusetts, and currently the ACS is funding 83 researchers and nearly $40 million in grants. in our state, including large investments in promising researchers who will be working today in labs just a few blocks or a few miles away from home. So we're fortunate to have with us one of those ACS-funded researchers. At this time, please welcome to the stage Dr. Jonathan Wettstein, also known as Dr. John. He is the principal investigator at the Wettstein Lab at Mass General Hospital for Cancer Center. He's also a Tepper Family Research Scholar and Associate Professor of Medicine at Harvard Medical School. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Boy, what an amazing group. I have had the fortunate pleasure, through hosting some wonderful people in this audience, to come visit our lab. Why? Because the message I want to give you today as a researcher is this: we are in it together. Every day, whatever you do to understand cancer, to help somebody, to change policy, to speak to the government, whatever you do, you're a voice for the people who are doing things in a room, in a lab, in a clinic, whom are cutting across the lines. You're our voice. So thank you for being part of our team. Thank each of you for everything you do. You have to remember something about cancer. It is truly a bipartisan product. It does not care about anything other than the following: discovery. When you fund research, when you challenge a community to make a discovery, it cuts across lines. The ACS was one of the very first grants I ever received. They funded me when the government didn't. You know what did they fund me on? They fund me on lung cancer. You know what's amazing? The last few publications we've had have been very focused on breast cancer, because those discoveries cross the lines. The ACS, as well as many other organizations, have been committed to the question we're asking: how do you block resistance? How do you challenge the tumor changing? Or how do we affect at the point when someone says, is it going to be 5 years? Wouldn't it be amazing if we could say 10, 20? Don't worry about it. That is what the efforts of organizations like the ACS do. This is where each one of you are participating in this in the lab. You may not be sitting there doing the science, but your efforts impact me. They impact my students, my trainees, my future progeny who go on and start science. You are catalyzing a future. And science knows no bounds. It's not limited by anything other than a discovery. And just keep in mind, your efforts and your funding and your support for breast cancer crosses lines. It's going to impact lung. It's going to impact pancreatic. It's going to impact ovarian. Fund innovation, and those things will happen. And that's what the ACS has done for me. And that's where each one of you have been part of the Wettstein team at Mass General Hospital. And thank you very, very much for helping us live a dream and make an impact.
Thank you, Dr. Wettstein. See, when somebody like this fine doctor gets up and speaks, somebody like me who's been through breast cancer, and a lot of you sitting out there, it makes me so happy that you're on our side. It makes me so happy that you're out doing the good work and making a difference. So thank you. We are investing in the future of breast cancer research, and it really is incredible to think the American Cancer Society has now invested more than $4.5 billion in research since 1946. In supporting the brightest minds in research, the Society has backed 47 investigators who have received the Nobel Prize. We're fiercely proud of our research program and its accomplishments, but we are nowhere close to being satisfied. We will continue to fund innovative research to fulfill its great promise.
So while the Society is taking steps forward with its innovative research, we are also here to provide day-to-day help to breast cancer patients, offering information, support, and empathy. And there is an unbelievable amount of empathy for people facing this terrible disease. Today, there are thousands of women facing breast cancer, and no matter when they need it, the American Cancer Society is there providing help, providing support. They are never alone in that fight.
You can see on the screen now some of the ways in which the American Cancer Society makes certain no cancer patient walks alone. The trained center information specialists in the National Cancer Information Center answer questions 24 hours a day, every day of the year, to empower you with accurate, up-to-date information to help you make educated health decisions. So important. The Society's Road to Recovery program provides transportation to and from treatment for people with cancer who do not have a ride or are unable to drive themselves. Last year in Massachusetts, the program provided 6,209 rides for 384 patients. It's amazing. It's amazing. At the AstraZeneca Hope Lodge Center in the Jamaica Plain neighborhood of Boston, just minutes from the city's world-class medical institutions, provides free lodging for patients traveling more than 40 miles to their outpatient treatments. The state-of-the-art facility serves as a home away from home, providing approximately 13,000 nights of free lodging to cancer patients every year.
That is amazing. So here we have it all, courage and innovation, empathy, but really it's our humanity that is giving us an advantage over breast cancer and can really help us achieve our vision for a world free from the pain and the suffering caused by this terrible disease. We possess so many qualities here in this room, and when we put them into action, we know we can overcome breast cancer. There are two qualities, though, that we haven't talked about quite yet, and that is hope and determination. And each year, more than 1 million people join Making Strides Against Breast Cancer events across the nation because they hope that we can do better, and they have the determination to take action to make the impossible possible. So today I want to ask you, how determined are you to make a difference? We all have our motivations, whether you're a survivor, a caregiver, maybe you're looking for a way to change the status quo. The determination of people like you is what really makes the American Cancer Society's work possible, and it ensures that no one walks alone in their breast cancer journey. With the American Cancer Society, they actually have a hand right there to hold.
So now I get to introduce you to somebody very special. I'm very excited. It's someone who's determined to make an impact in the lives of those fighting breast cancer. Donna Allard Flett. She is a 2-time breast cancer survivor and the Making Strides team leader for Aon United Against Breast Cancer. Donna's team raised, are you ready, more than $21,000 for the American Cancer Society last year. It's a lot of money. It is an amazing accomplishment, and because of Donna's creativity and the determination of her entire team, it is very possible to do. Please join me in welcoming Donna, who will share just how she does it. A warm welcome for Donna.
Thank you, everyone. Well, as you heard, I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor and a passionate supporter of Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, and very emotional at the moment. I am a survivor, but 13 years before my diagnosis, my best friend passed away from the same type of breast cancer. So that's why I am passionate about raising funds. But I'm not here to talk about why. We all have our personal whys. I'm here to talk about how to put the fun in fundraising. What's fun about raising money? Well, I've learned that many people want to help. When someone says, do you need any help? A lot of people say, no, that's okay, I'm all set. Not me. I say, what can you do? Can you bake? Can you sponsor an event? Can you raise money? Can you ask somebody for a donation? Really, Think of fundraising as a team sport and involve everyone. Through the years, I've worked with my hairdresser. She had her staff put in pink extensions, and that raised over $2,000. I worked with my trainer. He sponsored a boot camp. That raised over $250 in donations. Through the years, people have baked, crafted, golfed, and we've worked our way to a total of $120,000 raised by Team Aon United. So congratulations, Aon. Starting in 2006 was the first year of Team Aon United, and we were raising between $4,000 and $5,000 a year. In 2009, I joined the team with one goal, $1 from every Aon employee. Just participate, get the word out, understand the cause, please donate. For every donation, we provided a placard. We put their name on it, we put the year, we gave them a little token. It was a pencil, it was a pink band, it was bubbles one year, just to remind them that they're part of a bigger cause. Some of the fun events that we used to engage more coworkers included publishing a fundraising calendar. This allowed everybody to know what we were going to do in the month of September to raise money. We provided weekly updates to make sure everybody knew what we were aiming for and where we were going. And this year, our 10th anniversary, our goal is to raise $25,000 and be in the top 10 teams. So we got to get going. Last year, we started Raffle Wednesdays. What we did is Jason Wren, our producer, went out and solicited donations from surrounding businesses, restaurants, workout studios, flower shops. We got other donations from wine shops, and we raffled off every Wednesday the donations that we received. Last year, this raised over $1,000. People generously donated special sporting event tickets or airline miles. We held what was called a flash auction. It was notified, everyone was notified by email, mass email, and the bidding was very public with a very short time frame. There was a lot of banter back and forth between employees, and every year this has raised over $1,000. We try to make it easy for our coworkers. Aon Foundation has awarded or provides every employee $1,000 in matching funds. We provide clear, simple instructions for employees who donate $25 or more how to match their donation through the Aon Foundation. Each year, this has raised over $3,000. We hold bake sales. What office worker doesn't love a cookie in the afternoon? Our talented receptionist crafts all year long, making cards, banners, coasters, purses, and keychains, and we sell them at Aon Marketplace. Last year, one of our favorite events was the first annual pizza party and Aon Putt-Off. We had a lot of fun, food, and laughter, and that raised over $500 in an afternoon. I am very lucky. I'm surrounded by a lot of support. As my co-captain, Kristen Adams and Jason Wren have been tireless in their support. Kristen has been the steady rock that keeps everything moving and people motivated. And Jason, well, he's our producer, and he runs around getting donations from local businesses. So go out there and find your team. Find your peeps, the people who will support you and help you be successful. And simply say yes when somebody says, "Do you need help?" and then say thank you. Good luck.
Thank you, Donna. Now that, my friends, is how it's done, and I am 100% confident that you will make your $25,000 goal, so yes, you will. I will tell you that sometimes it's as easy as just asking. I started a team, a Magic 106.7 team last year, and in the first year that I was involved, we were able to raise $4,000. Which was great. And you know what? I didn't even get that creative. This year, I'm going to take some of these ideas. I'm going to get really, really creative. And so those of you at the magic table, get ready, because you're going to be baking, doing all kinds of things. But I couldn't believe that sometimes if you just ask, people are willing to donate. And I used to be shy about asking, and I am not anymore. So don't be afraid. Sometimes it just means to make the ask. So again, Donna, thank you for all of those creative ideas. You have inspired me, and I hope everyone else. The work we do fundraising and volunteering, our time, may be a challenge, but can also be fun, as Donna has demonstrated, creative, and a great way to build your personal and professional community. In short, it is always the right move. Someone has to fight for those who cannot. So let's not stand on the sidelines and watch. Just as our walk shows breast cancer survivors do not walk alone, please know you all do not walk alone in your fundraising efforts. The American Cancer Society has fundraising coaches available to help guide you. They'll be the first to tell you asking for donations can be easy and, yes, even fun. Consider this. Each one of us is equipped with talents and abilities that are unique. Maybe you are artistic, maybe you can paint, draw, or make crafts, maybe you have a lot of business or personal connections. Why not ask your contacts for a donation by simply sending an email with the story behind your motivation for fundraising? We've seen successful fundraisers grow out of simple ideas, including multifamily yard sales, office bake sales, car washes at local high schools, and donation cans at your favorite local business. Many creative ideas are listed in the team leader kits at your seats. When you check the contents of those backpacks later, be sure to notice the newly redesigned team leader guide. It looks like this. Okay, isn't that nice? It's a fundraising tool that doubles as a poster for your team, and you may be inspired. You may find an idea that we haven't talked about in here, so make sure that you check it out. To explain just how easy fundraising can be, we have a brief video to show you.
Time. For people facing cancer, it's critical to make every second count. That's why American Cancer Society supporters work so hard to raise money every year. Events like Making Strides Against Breast Cancer help fund cutting-edge research and provide critical support services to patients and caregivers. Because when you're fighting cancer, every dollar raised can help save more lives. The great news is that fundraising is a lot easier than you might think. But where do you start once you've signed up online? How do you make fundraising part of your daily routine and still get big-time results? Well, take Joe, for example. He's a busy office manager. He fits fundraising into his day by asking vendors to donate and getting his coworkers to join his fundraising team. He hosts fundraiser lunches, delicious, and emails friends to join the fun. Like Mary, mother of 3. Mary loves to get creative, transforming her jewelry-making hobby into a fundraising juggernaut. At PTA meetings, she gets other parents to contribute, inspiring her children to get involved. Even her daughter, Carly, a junior with homework, soccer practice, and lots of social obligations. She posts on social media, enticing her extended family to donate. She holds car washes and gets her classmates competing to see who can raise the most money for the American Cancer Society. The sky's really the limit when it comes to fundraising, and the American Cancer Society has great tools to make it even easier. So don't let anything stand in your way. Set a goal to raise $100 or more and find out just how easy fundraising can be.
Okay, don't you all feel ambitious now after watching that? Yes. So you see there, just incorporating fundraising into your daily routine can be your way to pacesetter status in no time. Every little bit adds up and makes a difference. In fact, on the screen here, you can see a variety of ways that with just a little effort, you can help the American Cancer Society make an impact. Just $50 in donations can provide 5 rides to and from treatment for a cancer patient who otherwise couldn't get there. Think about that. Collect $500 in donations and you can give a cancer patient and their caregiver 5 nights of free lodging at the Hope Lodge, their home away from home when treatment takes them far from their own backyard.
To make your fundraising even easier this year, the ACS fundraising app is now totally updated and improved. You can download it right now by simply going to cancer.org/app. The most exciting part is you can accept donations, even credit cards and checks, right from the app on your phone. So now there's no more excuses from Bob from accounting, who never seems to have his wallet or any cash on him. Pam, your neighbor, who's sorry I only use PayPal. No problem, the app accepts that too. You can smile and tell them, I'm all set, ready for you. The app is a simple tool to help you greatly expand your donations at your car washes, bake sales, other fundraisers, and the donations can be credited to either you individually or your team or the Boston event overall. You can also use the app to track your progress. I love this part. You can send emails and easily post to your social media accounts right from the app. Let people know how you're doing. For more details about the ACS fundraising app, check out your team leader guide. This is one time of the program that we're not going to mind if you're looking down at your phone. Everybody take out your phones. Take out your phones. I know you have them close by. We always do. Well, you might want to download the app later, and that is fine, but please do. Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston has another easy way to stay connected. Simply text the code MAWALK, M-A-W-A-L-K, to 51555, and you can receive text messages about Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston leading up to the event day, so we can all stay in sort of a collective conversation that way. Please remember that message and data rates do apply. Feel free to take out your phones right now. Do it if you'd like. It just takes a few seconds. It's MAWALK, M-A-W-A-L-K, to 51555.
I'm giving you a second, then they go away, right? Kidding. Just joking. All right. So now we have another opportunity for you to help out, and that's to get involved with the American Cancer Society Action Network. It's also known as ACS CAN. It's the Society's nonpartisan advocacy affiliate. Our next speaker is someone who has successfully and passionately turned her life experience into action. So it is my pleasure to introduce the ASC CAN State Lead Ambassador for Massachusetts and a breast cancer survivor herself, Carol Clark.
Good morning, everybody. I get a little emotional at these things too, so please bear with me. I'm very proud to be part of the American Cancer Society Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Walk of Boston. And I am also very proud to be a member of the American Cancer Society Cancer Action Network, which I call my family. For those of you that don't already know, the American Cancer Society is the largest private nonprofit funder of cancer research in the United States, investing millions in cancer research. But our federal government invests billions of dollars. Congress truly holds the purse strings. We as advocates have to let Congress know that we need this money to be used for cancer research. And what we do on the advocacy side is make our voices heard in Washington and at the State House. I'm sorry. When it comes to research, ACS CAN members use their voices to influence our elected officials responsible for making these decisions. I know all of us are here because we are either cancer survivors, we've cared for someone, or we've lost someone. I'll just tell you a little bit about my cancer journey. In 1998, just before the holidays, I was told, you have breast cancer. I looked at my doctor, and the words came out, and they're too colorful to say in this room. But I said, this is when I start my fight. This cancer is not going to beat me. I am going to beat it. And the journey began. Thank you. The holidays came and went, And a week after my birthday, in February of 1999, I started my chemo, then my radiation. The whole year was totally wiped out, as all of you know. I don't have a single thing of 1999 in my possession. No calendars, nothing. But that's when I started my fight. And I successfully, thank God, am here. And in 2002, I got involved with the Relay for Life, which was actually my healing factor. That made me realize that I was here to make a difference. In 2005, I was approached by ACS CAN to be an ambassador for Massachusetts. It gave me such an unbelievable feeling that I could make a difference, that my voice could make a difference. And in 2006, we hit Capitol Hill with a vengeance. There were about 1,000 of us that went to Capitol Hill to tell Congress our stories. And the day that we went there, I was extremely emotional. And come to find out, that was the day that we went to Capitol Hill, was the day that I lost my father to cancer when I was 19 years old. So it had been years. And that, at that point, I knew this is what my passion in life was to do. I was to help other people, to advocate, to do whatever I could do to put an end to this horrible disease. And to remember all the people that I have lost. Now that you've heard my story, I hope you will join me with thousands of other breast cancer survivors and advocates by either becoming a member of ACS CAN or renewing your membership. Your membership is an investment in our efforts to urge Congress to increase funding for cancer research and prevention programs. Right now, for only a $20 donation to CAN, you'll receive your annual membership and a Lights of Hope bag, which we're supposed to have here. Here we do. Now, these Lights of Hope bags will be taken down to Washington in September. Last year, I believe we had about 40,000 bags, and they go around the reflecting pool. They're done in honor and in memory of those that we have lost to this disease, and it's just an incredible, empowering thing to see. For a $30 donation, you can become a member of CAN, receive your bag that you can decorate, and get a power, we are supposed to have pins. I'm sorry. It's a power of the pin that you can have. It's a purse. It's the power of the purse. And I don't see it up here, but there was supposed to be one, but that's okay. Yeah, we got one. You can't really see it, but. So that would be with a $30 donation. And Melissa Cushman, my wonderful staff partner, is out at the front desk with a table. If you could all consider picking, you all have these on your desk, on your tables, and these are for memberships, and I really truly encourage you to join. It's a wonderful organization, and as they keep saying, it's an organization. To me, it's family. The people, we are all work together for the same wonderful cause. We have lost so many people to this dreaded disease who can't speak for themselves anymore. We have to do this. We have to go out there. We have to advocate on their behalf. We have to keep their memories going. We have, ACS, a very powerful voice, and we use it in Congress. We need to tell them that we need as much money for cancer research funding so that we aren't here again going through this and begging for money. I want to thank you very much for inviting me today, to give me the privilege to walk amongst you at the walk, and I truly look forward to it. I applaud you all for what you've done.
That drives it home, doesn't it? Thank you for sharing that. I know how difficult that was for you, but it was powerful and we need to hear it. So thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce a very special guest. Her name is Dorothy Bishop. She is also a cancer survivor who walked in her first Making Strides of Boston event last year. She is here to share her journey and talk about her motivation behind fundraising for Making Strides of Boston. Welcome, Dorothy.
Good morning. I probably don't need the mic, but everybody take a look around. It's so beautiful to see everybody here in their pink and rallying with the American Cancer Society, making strides against breast cancer. Whew. My name is Dorothy Bishop. I'm a 2-time breast cancer survivor. We lost my mother about 32 years ago to breast cancer, and she was only 38 years young. Back then, it was like a death sentence when you got breast cancer. But today, it's no longer a death sentence, and I'm living proof of it. About 1984, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I went through radiation and chemotherapy. I was out of work for about a year. Well, after that, I got it together and I was living life better than ever because, it cleaned out all those bad cells and good cells. So, I just started to live my life. Well, fast forward to, 2014? My doctor said, "Oh, do you want to have a 3D mammogram?" I said, "Of course," because I figured it was a machine. I didn't have to get squeezed again. I didn't think it meant closer image. But of course, they found ductal carcinoma. So I had a mastectomy, but before the mastectomy, I went through genetics testing just to make sure that I wasn't a carrier. And thank God I was not a carrier, so I only had to have the mastectomy and not the double mastectomy. Well, went back to work. I have to look at my notes because I don't want to forget anything, but it's a serious thing when you go through cancer. People aren't held responsible for what they don't know. And what I want to tell you on this side of it is share with people, your family and your friends, really what's going on. Because one of my best friends said, I thought I was going to get all this help, and I did. But at night, when you're in a lot of pain and you don't have anyone there, no one knows that. So please tell people how you feel. A lot of times it's our pride. We want to act like we can do it all ourselves. So I was kind of down one day, and I said to my friend, "Why isn't anyone calling me?" She said, "Well, let me give it to you like it is." She said, "You post on Facebook after your chemo treatments and you look so good, you make it so easy." So people really don't know. So you're not alone. You need somebody. Just be truthful and honest and say, "Hey, I need some help. I need you to come over and do something." So that's one lesson I learned during my journey. Whew, so much to talk about, but I'm going to tell you, I went back to work, and I went back part-time at May 2015. And with the help of my job and the support of my family and friends, I was able to regain my strength again. And here I am making strides with so many of you. Before I step down, I'd like to thank the American Cancer Society for letting me share some of my story this morning. And I'd like to thank Dana-Farber and my team of doctors, and my family and my friends and my job and all the people that are rallying around with me. I also want to, because it just came to mind, is there's a lot of services out here, like American Cancer Society, that you should get involved, because I know another thing you don't know, it's a struggle sometimes. I was going through chemo, I had to be relocated. Your finances usually go down because we don't have a savings account for, oh, I might get cancer. So, I had got a lot of help from Stop and Shop. I got Stop and Shop cards from the, the American Cancer Society. So there's a lot of resources out there. So grab a hold to those resources. That's why I give, so somebody else can have hope. Look at how far we have come. Let's keep on making strides, and together we can put an end to the suffering of breast cancer. Thank you all.
Wasn't she great? And she has the best pair of shoes on I have ever seen. Those are sassy shoes. I love them. I love what you said too, Dorothy, which is let's give so others can have hope, because that's what it's all about, is providing hope, because we're in the best place ever for people who do get this diagnosis. We've come a long way. So let's give so everyone has hope. We've heard about the work the American Cancer Society is doing, and now I'm asking for you to use your talents and time to help make this work possible. Become a team leader if you haven't already signed up. And if you have, or you are a returning team leader, I hope today's presentation renews your determination and commitment to do more. Being a team leader simply requires you to organize people you know to fundraise, and then gather them all together on event day to celebrate what you've accomplished. So, let's see a show of hands right now. How many of you here are team leaders, have been team leaders, have already signed up? Raise your hand. That's a lot. Yes, round of applause. We can always use more team leaders. It is so important. Since we know nearly all of you here are people who are going to take action as a thank you, we hope you will enjoy the t-shirt and backpack provided on the backs of your chairs. Please wear them proudly. Remember those team leader cards you received when you arrived. Now would be the time to fill them out if you are not already signed up as a team leader. After you complete those cards, hold them up, and we have staff members around the room, and they will come around to the tables and they'll collect them. So please fill out. I already see people holding them up. Thank you. Hold up your card, and people will come around the room and collect them. Thank you in advance for all of you stepping up this year, or if you've been stepping up year after year. While you are completing those team leader cards and we are collecting them, we're going to take a look back at last year's awesome Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston Walk. Here it is.
welcome. That captured the energy and the spirit of that day so beautifully, I felt. And we want to give a special thanks to our volunteer, Jimmy G. He produced that video, and we're so grateful to him. Let's give him a round of applause. So we've talked now about taking action and forming a team and fundraising, but there's also the excitement and the hope that we all feel when we welcome more than 40,000 people at the DCR Hatch Shell in Boston coming up Sunday, October 2nd for the walk. And I hope you are just as excited as I am for this year's walk. So please keep in mind these details. Take them down. Making Strides is a 5-mile walk. It does have a 2-mile option. And of course, it is wheelchair, stroller, and family friendly. Registration, the rolling start, is from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. There will be a great live entertainment section as well. It begins on stage at 11, and lots of interesting speakers lined up prior to that. You can visit the sponsorship tents that have information and giveaways. Survivors can receive a special gift and recognition in the survivors tent. And really, since it was such a success last year, we will once again have a researcher tent at this event. This is amazing. You can have your exclusive opportunity to talk one-on-one with cancer researchers that you have helped to fund. How about that? That would include Dr. Wettstein, who you've heard from today, and they will be there to answer your questions. So right now, let's finally welcome back to the stage your Making Strides Against Breast Cancer of Boston Walk manager, Sasha Vaught, right now.
I was all the way in the back. Sorry about that. Thank you, Krista. Once again, we're so thankful to have Sue Tabb from Magic 106.7 and Krista Delkamp from Channel 7. Please give them a round of applause and thank you them. Thank you for setting the stage and making setting this up to be our best Making Strides Against Breast Cancer walk yet. So, whoop. After our program, please feel free to chat with Sue and Krista over in the photo area. Make sure to use the hashtags Boston Strides and the hashtag MSABC Boston if you post it on social media. We'd like to be tagged. Maybe we'll retweet it. We definitely will. Now, I know you're anxious to get your fundraising started and start building your team, but a few housekeeping tips. Don't forget to hand in those team leader cards that you had at your table. If you haven't done so already, you can do so at registration. Also, we have computers in the lobby. If you have any questions about your website or would like to sign up today, we can help you do that. Stop by the materials table and gather materials to help you start building your team and get your fundraising going. And also check out the fun Making Strides items we have for sale just outside those doors. It's my hope that in the next few months, you'll think of Donna, Carol, and Dorothy, those close to you and those who may be diagnosed in the future, as your own personal inspiration. The time you spend building your Making Strides Against Breast Cancer team, raising funds, and walking on October 2nd directly supports innovative cancer research, promotes education and risk reduction, and provides comprehensive patient support to those who need it most. It's because of champions like you here in Boston that the American Cancer Society ensures that no one faces breast cancer alone. We know we are stronger when we work as a team. We are all on this road together. No one walks alone. Every step, every dollar, we walk towards a future with less pain and less suffering from breast cancer. With our courage, hope, empathy, innovation, determination, and passion, we will make an impact. Thank you all for joining us this morning, and we'll see you on Sunday, October 2nd.
I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Come along with me and don't be scared. I just wanna set you free. smile.